The purpose of today's lesson is to consolidate our water tariff investigation. Now, the expectations for this lesson is you must be able to calculate the cost of water used, and then you must also be able to calculate water consumption for a given value. I find it sometimes easier to explain using visuals. So what I've done here, you will see that water, I've taken that bucket and it will be, just let me fix this. Okay, so what I've done, I've depicted each of those as a bucket of water. So it's like going to the shop and buying a specific quantity. So if we have a look here in the first block, you've got from 0 to 6 kiloliters. So for this to be filled with water, we are going to use 6 kiloliters. So in this block, we're going to have 6 kiloliters, and those 6 kiloliters are going to be free. The reason for that, the government wants to help those that are less fortunate than what we are. Right, in the next bucket of water, we go from 6 to 42. So from 6 to 42 is going to give you 36 kiloliters of water. And each of those kiloliters, so it's 6 Rand 10 per kiloliter of water. If we look at our next bucket of water, which is this, 42 to 72 kiloliters of water, that means in this bucket we're going to have 30 kiloliters of water, and each one of those kiloliters of water is going to cost 6 Rand 80. In our last bucket, you can see that there is no cap on this. So in other words, every other liter of water will go into this final bucket. So it's everything more than 72 kiloliters, and that will cost you 8 Rand a kiloliter. So you can see this is an example of tariffs on a sliding scale. It is good to get organized before you do your questions on water tariffs, because you're going to have to fit the costs and the consumption in somewhere. So now what we're going to do, we've now sorted out our buckets. We want to know how much each one is going to cost. So if I buy, I just need a thicker pen. Okay, over here, I will not pay any money for the water. So 6 kiloliters are going to be free. If I use all 36 kiloliters in this bucket, it is going to cost me 219 Rand and 60 cents. If I use all 30 kiloliters in the following bucket, it is going to cost me 204 Rand just for that amount of water. And obviously here we can't do a calculation because we don't know how many liters of water is going to be used over there. Right, it is also a good idea to perhaps put this on a number line. So what I'm saying is, for this, if I start at 0, my first lot of water will take me up to 6 kiloliters. My next bucket of water takes me up to 42 kiloliters. The next one takes me up to 72 kiloliters. And then obviously, what is greater than that we have to work out. Right, so if we have a look at this, the cost for the water in this amount, in that bucket, is going to be 219 Rand and 60 cents. If I used water into the next bucket, up to there, it would cost me let me just get my calculator and work that out. So it's going to be 60 cents, 4 and 9 is 13, carry 1. 1 and 1 is 2. So it's going to be 423 Rand 60. If I use that water, and anything above 423 Rand 60 is going to be in the last bucket. Right, now it'll start making sense once we start doing our calculations. So the first one that we're going to do is we're going to determine how much a person would have to pay. So if Joseph uses 67.3 liters of water, how much will he pay? So what we have to go and look at is we have to see where does 63 liters fit in. And this is why your number line is so useful, because 63 is going to land in between 42 and 72. So Joseph is going to use 6 kiloliters at no cost. So obviously that would be 0, 0. Then he's going to use the whole of the second bucket, which is 36 kiloliters at 6 Rand 10 a litre. And if we multiply that out, you see why it's useful to do everything before, 219.60. Now, how much would he use in this third bucket? Okay, so he's got to get up to 67.3. So over here, we've got to get to 67.3 kiloliters. So how are we going to work that out? Well, we are going to say 67 minus 36 minus 6, and that will give us a total of 25.3 kiloliters. To find out the cost, okay, we go and have a look, and that is at 204 Rand. No, that's a mistake, sorry. It's not 204, that would be for the whole bucket, but he's not using the whole bucket. He is only using 25.3, and the cost of that was 6 Rand 80. And if I take out my calculator and I work that out, it is going to be 172 Rand and 4 cents. Now I can work out my total bill. So if I add these three together, it will give me 391 Rand and 64 cents. So that is what Joseph would pay for 67.3 liters of water. Right, I'm going to erase this so that we can do the other example. Just so that we can have the buckets to show us what we're doing. And that example is, Busi is charged 238. Let me see if I can cut. I won't cut and paste. So he has a water bill of 238 Rand and 20 cents. So if we have a look here, don't want that anymore. So now we're going to have a look. So the cost that we are looking for is 238 Rand and 20 cents. Right, so now I said to you it was a good idea to put this table in here, because now you can see the 238 Rand will fit in between these two. So I'm going to start off the same way as I started the first calculation. Right, so we start off with our 6 kiloliters at 0, which is going to be 0.00. In our next bucket of water, okay, so he's going to use the whole of the 36, so he's going to use 36 kiloliters at 6 Rand 10 per kiloliter. And if I multiply that out, handy, just look where I have got my answer, is 219 Rand and 60 cents. And now I've got to see how much water he uses in this bucket of water. So what we're going to do is we know that we've got to get to a total of, so his total bill was 238 Rand 20. Right, now what must I add to 219 Rand 60 to get 238 Rand 20? So I'm going to do the inverse operation. I'm going to say 238 Rand 20, and I'm going to minus 219 Rand 60, and I will get a total of 18 Rand and 60 cents. That is what it's going to cost me in this bucket of water. And I know the water in that bucket costs 6 Rand 80. So how many buckets of water, or how many liters at 6 Rand 80 can I get for 18 Rand 60? In our first set of solutions, we went 6 times, so we multiply by that, and we will get our answer here. So when we work that way, we multiply to get the answer. So when we are working this way, the inverse operation is divide. So I'm going to say 18 Rand 60. So 18 Rand 60 divided by 6 Rand 80. And if I go and do that on my calculator, you will see that you get 2,7532 kiloliters. I can now add all of those up, and I will get to 7.73. Okay, 735. So for 238 Rand 20, we will get 44,735 kiloliters of water. I'm hoping that you now understand why we have to do the 6 kiloliters. It didn't have any effect when we worked out the cost of the water, but it certainly has an effect on the total when we are finding how much water he used. In other words, what the water consumption was. Right, you will please do task A of the worksheet, and you're going to do question 1, dotty 1, dotty 2, and dotty 5. And you're going to do question 2, dotty 1 and dotty 4, dotty 1 and dotty 4, and then question 3A, dotty 1 and 3A, dotty 2. The worksheet you will find in Teams, and it needs to be completed by your next lesson. Thank you.